To a movie review. My name is Andrew Worcester, and today we're going to talk about a movie called My Spy, which came out in the spring with Dave Bautista as the lead star. You might know Dave Bautista from his wrestling days or from Guardians of the Galaxy as Drax. And the last couple of years is really when he's had a couple solo movies, which has been interesting to see him break out from that role and having an opportunity to really kind of diversify who he is. And when you look at him and you think about his career or where it could go, it's really almost more interesting to me than the movie. But just to briefly talk about the movie, it's a story about an Army Ranger who, for some reason, wants to transition to more of a civilian life. So he decides he wants to become a spy, except his skill is in exploding things and killing people, not in being subtle or manipulative. So the first assignment he has, which he gets because he's a decorated, war veteran, goes haywire and it's just complete failure. So he's put on more of a surveillance mission the next time, and all his assignments that he had lined up went to other people. So he's stuck doing surveillance on a single mother and her daughter, and the daughter sniffs him out right away because he's not subtle, he's not really good at being a spy. So the story then becomes this girl who doesn't have a father, and her mother works all the time, so she can't really be there for her as much as she wants her to be. She blackmails him into being like her chaperone or her kind of surrogate parent in a lot of ways. And it's a clever comedy. There's a lot of good, interesting, funny beats to it. If you're looking for more of like a family comedy where you can be with your kids, like 12 and under kind of thing, like 8 to 12, a great movie, especially for girls with a lead. The lead girl's 9 years old and she's really pretty fantastic with her comedic timing and her just presence against Bautista, who's, I don't know, 6'5", 270 or something. He's a big dude. And that's part of what this movie I think is trying to do. In the last movie he did as well, is kind of develop and show not only is he an intimidating action star character, but he also can be a sensitive, comedic kind of role as well, and being someone that can poke fun at himself as well. And he does that a lot in this movie, and it comes across really well. I mean, I was really surprised about how well he was in his presence in this movie. And I really think that if you look at where he is and where someone like The Rock is, and that's, I think, where he wants to ultimately get to, as The Rock is, the biggest star in the world. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he tailors his career. Really what happened with The Rock is he did a bunch of movies, and comedy movies as well, to kind of get the same idea of showing a different side of what you would normally perceive of him when he did like The Game Plan or Tooth Fairy, to kind of develop that. Then what happened with him is he did some more dramas as well, which I think is kind of the next thing for Bautista to do, kind of like a kind of a gritty drama, not really an action movie, but more of a action drama kind of thing, because that just makes the most sense. What happened with The Rock is he was kind of doing well and he was successful, but he really didn't get to be where he is until he got on Fast Five, and once he got on that movie, an established huge box office franchise, and was able to elevate that movie because of his character and his presence, and having a worldwide global audience to latch onto that as well, really took him to the next stratosphere. And that's what Bautista is going to have to look for. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is a great entryway, and he got into the world. That was having these opportunities. He's able to start the process of what happened with The Rock. And I think The Rock made a few mistakes, and it took him longer than maybe it should have because of those mistakes. I don't know how close they are as friends or not. They were kind of a little bit of time when I think Bautista was just starting, The Rock was pretty much leaving. So there's not too much crossover, I think, in the wrestling world, but I'm sure they all stay relatively close, and The Rock is not going to say no to advice from someone that's starting where he started from. So My Spy is certainly a movie to if you want a lighthearted, family-friendly comedy, you can go a lot worse with this movie. I enjoyed it. It was cute. It was funny. There's a great rapport between Bautista and the little girl. Ken Jeong is in it for briefly, but he's always hilarious. He steals every scene. If you want just a burst of energy to kind of explode onto the scene, and eat the scene away and just make the scene hilarious because he has such high energy that it just pulls you in. Love that part. Love that scene. He stole that. But it's definitely worth your time if that's what you're in the mood for. It's called My Spies with Dave Bautista. I found it on Amazon Prime right now. It's available to watch. So I appreciate you sticking around for a little over 5 minutes with me here. My name's Andrew Worcester. Take care.